Hello everybody.
Hello everyone.
Well, we're finally going to get to the point to tell you guys about this boat, and we want to dispel a few wild imaginations and things like that. And so let's dive right into this. First off, this boat is not no new late model boat, and I didn't give the big bucks for it. It is a 1996 model, 26 years old. Yep, 26-year-old boat. It's a Sea Ray Sundancer 240, and the 240, the 2.4 means it's 24 foot. It's a cabin cruiser. It's got a cabin in it, so it's got a bed down below. It's got a bed up there in the bow. It's got, you know, you can call it a head. It's got a CR for you that don't understand what a head is. It's got a galley. I mean, it's got a little kitchen, you know, galley, kitchen. So, is it big and huge inside? No, it's just like being in a little old camper. It's, you know, it's tight. You're not going to take a great big old group with you and y'all are going to go to some exotic island with 15 people. Ain't gonna happen. I'm glad, because I don't want to take 15 people. So yeah, so there, right there in the beginning, you know this is not a new late model boat. It is a 96 model boat. 96 model boat like this in the US, come on man, y'all know they're dirt cheap. One thing, because that whole I gotta have the newest thing, keep up with the Joneses spirit going on in the US, that consumerism. Here, it's not like that. They take care of things sometimes as long as they can, especially somebody that can afford an item like this in the Philippines, and they appreciate its worth and its value in a country like this. They tend to take better care of it. Not like somebody just owns like a little old pump boat or something like that, and they're out here just trying to scratch a life by fishing and all, you know, and little old plywood boat or something. You know, somebody like has this also has the discipline to take care of it and realize what they have. So it is a 96 that is in really good condition as far as the hull. I bought this as a non-running boat. Is exactly what I seeked out. I asked my friend that hustles around with boats and stuff here in the Philippines. He said, this is what I want. I want a Sea Ray. I want this length only, no longer, because my power plant won't push it. And I prefer it not to be running. Man, he couldn't have filled the order better for me. Found exactly what I was looking for, which is so funny because they're so rare. So kudos to him. Now, a little history that I can tell you about the boat. I don't know the whole history, but I know a partial history on it. There is a Japanese resort company that owns resorts around in different places. And they owned this boat. They owned many boats, including big old yacht, another boat, a 03 model that looked like this, and many other boats, a whole little group of them. All different types. And what they used those for was for a private high-end resort island here in the Philippines that was owned and run by Japanese. And that is down below the island of Marinduque. Just below it right there, y'all can look it up on Google Maps, is Elephant Island. And that whole little tiny island is just one resort. It's a private island. And that resort, it is called Bellaraca. And a lot of rich and famous and wealthy actors, all different types, would go to that island. private, secluded island and enjoy. In fact, hey, even Angelina and Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, they were at that island as well. You can look up on YouTube and you'll see some videos of that island, but you won't see too much, or you'll see a lot of faces fuzzed out because they really did not want videoing going on that island because it is a private, for high-end customers, resort. But in my quest, I got on YouTube myself and went through a bunch of videos that people put out, and sure enough, I seen this and the other boat both there in the videos. Now, why did it leave that resort? Well, that, I don't know the whole exact details on the story, but there's an airport over in Marinduque, and that airport could not support a very large aircraft like these big jets that you see, Philippine Airlines and Cebu Pacific and AirAsia and all the different ones using. The runway just wasn't up for it, so they used those turboprop planes instead, and they would land there, and then they would take them down to this little port set up just for Elephant Island for Bella Rocca Resort, and from there they would shuttle them on boats out across over to the island. Well, I don't know exactly how it all went down, but supposedly the governor or something there in Marinduque, if I have this right, I could be wrong. I'm just going by what I've read and all. Got into a little bit of battle about that airport, and he closed it down. He closed the airport down. Was behind it being closed down or something. And when he did that, it choked the way for customers to get to Bella Rocca Island, saying that while he's closing, he's going to close it, he's going to do renovations, they were going to extend the runway and all this, but nothing was happening. Well, then the airlines that had been supporting flying in there decided that they weren't going to support that class of aircraft anymore. They had apparently sold to another airlines or something, and that airline did not want to support those planes anymore. So here they are again, no aircraft to transport their clients and their clientele coming there to the island. So then the new governor, something was behind getting this runway extended and all to where the full-size planes like they use domestically all over the country could land there in Marinduque. And so he did. He got busy restoring the airport, remodeling it. That the government, you know, was getting on it, and they were extending the runway and all. Then this little world crisis happened, and that was just the nail in the coffin right there. Well, if I have this next part of the story correct, if it was all told to me with truth and honor, well, one of their contractors there on the island that did a lot of work for them there, they owed him a lot of money, and he ended up settling with them with all of their boats and with some condos that they had there, I think in Makati or BGC or somewhere, and that was what he got in square up for what was owed to him. And so then he ended up with all these boats to sell, and that's where it came in to be up for sale and for me to be able to get it. I missed out on the 03 model. I would have loved to have that 03. It's a different design than this, and how the engine compartment opens. It's a little bit even broader and even taller on the side. The 03 is a really good looking boat, but this is a good looking boat too. I'm not going to complain. But I bought the boat, as I said, as a non-runner. Now, have I ran this engine to even see if it runs? I didn't. I found what was wrong. The ignition system's messed up. I saw that they had got another distributor and a coil and all. Apparently they were going to try to fix it. They would have never fixed it by changing the distributor and changing the coil on it, because that is not why it was not getting spark to the spark plugs. That's not why it was getting any fire. I found the reason why is because the main wire in the engine harness back there that feeds the module and the distributor and the coil pack is melted there in a little engine harness. It is melted up pretty good. And also found up in the cabin, there's a power port for, like, it looks like a cigarette port, you know, cigarette lighter port. I found too that the wires are all messed up there on it, and the positive and negatives are touching. Because I went through and did an inspection all through the boat. Excuse me, here, there's a little gnat just keeps bugging the heck out of my ear here. I see them flying in the air here. Really kind of tickles. Yeah, man, those things drive me crazy. And I got a mosquito just then too. So, sidetracking. Y'all wonder why I keep grabbing my ear, you know. Well, so that's the story on the boat. I got in there, I surveyed all the wiring harness everywhere. Overall, the harness is in really great condition. But I think that a rat got inside on the boat and it chewed some wires, not all over. It's very minimal. I only found up there at that 12-volt port. I found one other place that nipped at them, and back here in the back up by the motor, and it nipped at them. It shorted those. When they got ready to use the boat or something sometime, they must not realize it. But it didn't get the whole boat harness. That harness unplugs at the back of the motor, and this diesel has its own harness that plugs up. Then the diesel engine that I sent from the US over for this boat, that is a subscriber. First of all, we have our friend Paul and Anna, and one of Paul's really dear friends. That motor was in his trophy boat, and trophy is a cabin boat also. It's called a walk-around cabin. It's got a more of a space all the way around the walk up to the bow, where this just has a tiny space. It has a wider space, and it's got a cabin still in the middle. It was kind of a similar boat. He was wanting to put a big outboard with a bracket on the back of his boat. He had that diesel. It was in really good condition, and he was trying to just hook me up with it for nothing, and I wouldn't do it for nothing. So we finally agreed for the grand, massive price of $1,000, wasn't it? Mm-hmm, yes. For $1,000. Now, that motor, if Mel and I had to go buy that motor, just the motor alone, secondhand, we found the prices were what, like from $8,000 to $11,000 and $12,000, wasn't it, for that Marinized Mercruiser engine? But did we give that for it? Nope. We gave $1,000 to him. He even sent that motor out, and he spent like $4,500, if I've got that story right from Paul, having it gone through. He sent me every manual with it, additional props, all kinds of stuff. So I didn't spend big money on a diesel power plant to put in here. Didn't have to, because somebody that liked our videos and supported our channel hooked us up on that. So thank you again very, very much.
Bonus round.
Yeah, bonus round right there. Puts us even cheaper in this boat. A boat that's very rare in the Philippines, but you got to know how to go after these things. Then the next thing was, I had that outboard already here sitting that we haven't been using in a long time, and I hadn't cranked it in a long while. I crank it over and fog the cylinders, but I haven't run it. Didn't want to get a bunch of gas in the carbon off. Well, we traded that motor and put it in on this boat. Once again, lowering the price, getting rid of something we already had, putting it into something better. So there you go again. So the price on this boat, you know, come on, a 96 boat, y'all know what they sell for in the US, you know. I'm not going to divulge my personal business on that. That's my personal business. But I just tell you, it ain't no millionaire item. It's a 26-year-old boat. When we bought this boat, it's a fixer-upper. It's not a ready-to-hit-the-water boat, but it is a rock-solid hull, and it's in really good condition as far as the hull. Did we give big, massive money for this boat? No, we didn't. The interior in it, it's all together. It's not tore up. It's all intact. It's carpet's all still good in it. Headliners in it. The cushions are all still intact, not torn up or nothing. but they're kind of tired and dirty looking, you know.
Just need a deep cleaning.
I don't know if they need a deep cleaning or a reupholstery.
Yes, yeah, I
because
think so.
It's the original 96 upholstery in here. It's tired looking, you know. It's really tired looking inside. It looks way better on the outside than it does on the inside. The inside, it looks like a 26-year-old boat, for sure. For sure. Well, that's a little story on that. Am I a millionaire? The rich canoe buying a super high dollar yacht. It's 24-foot long boat. 26 years old. Non-running. Yeah, non-running. And thank goodness for a very nice guy that hooked us up on a diesel that we're going to put in here. Now, I'll tell you, I've already been working on this boat before I shot this video. I haven't took the time to shoot this video to tell you guys about the story on this boat. So I've already been getting into things on it and in around the motor, and I've already figured out quite a few things about it, and actually getting near probably to lifting this motor out. But we'll go back and I'll retro back and show those videos over the next couple of days, and what we've been doing to this trailer as well. And we'll have a little boat series videos on this. But they give you a little background on the boat. It's not a millionaire canoe boat, you know. It ain't cheap, but it ain't no millionaire boat. It's a top deal that's just perfect for me, because I'm a person that likes to work on things. I like to restore stuff. I like to renew stuff back to its previous glory. And I've done that a lot in my life. And I've actually made in my life good money doing that. Really good money doing that, if you know how to do it wisely. And, you know, it's one of the most important things is how you buy it in the beginning too. This is something I plan on using here for a long time if everything goes well. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I've been buying for it. I have been prepping to have a boat like this here for several years already. It's one of the reasons I didn't really put no focus into that old white boat here, which I'm going to give it some attention, but I knew what I wanted, and I knew that I would find it, and I wanted all of my attention to really go on something that's worth something and will last. So this is going to be a fixer-upper. I'm going to do a video series of all the things I'm going to do to it. It's not going to be easy to do like it is back in the States or in Europe or something, where these boats are just, you know, there's a plethora of them. They're everywhere, and people just even abandon them, you know, just because they want the newest, coolest thing, even when the fiberglass has still got 40, 50, 60 years left in it. You know, change a power plant, shifter, and maybe some steering controls, and you can just keep on going. But of course, everybody wants that new cool factor. But beggars can't be choosers in this country. There's only a limited selection of what you can find and get here for the time being. It could change. They could open up, change the customs laws, change the duty laws, and there could just all of a sudden be boats everywhere. We have seen a change just since we've been right here at this lot. You used to not see nothing like this. And even when the Coast Guard would go by an aluminum boat with an outboard on it, everybody's eyes were like, wow, wow, wow. And a lot of chismas talking, you know. And then jet skis started going by. Then more jet skis started going by. And everybody went from talking to just looking down, not even paying attention anymore. And now speedboats go by here constantly. Some very expensive ones. Now that's the expensive boats. This wasn't the expensive boat. Those are the expensive boats. Those are brand new Nauticas going by here and all. Whoo! They got more money than I do, I tell you. Or they got more than, they're more willing to spend than I am too. Because I ain't doing it. Man, those guys, between what that boat costs brand new and the import duties and everything getting in here, holy Jesus, you know. Man, so that's where it's at. But now These boats are just going back and forth by here all the time. They're stopping and pulling up to a resort down here and hanging out. They're playing out here on this water. There is actually a boat and jet ski club that has formed now here in our city, and everybody meets up and goes for these little runs and outings and things, kind of hopping around different places and enjoying with meetups with everybody with these style boats. Another thing that I want to do, and I've already talked to some of the officials on in the past, is I want to join the auxiliary Coast Guard here. And as a foreigner, as an immigrant here, an expat here, I'm actually allowed to. You can't be in like the full-fledged Coast Guard, but you can be in the auxiliary Coast Guard, and I can volunteer me and my boat if there's a serious situation and people need help. And that's the kind of person I am. I want to do that, and I plan to do that. And some of the guys here locally that's got some speedboats too, they also did the same thing. Up in the city of Iloilo, I'm out in a province town of Tigbawan, but up in the city of Iloilo, our good mayor right there, he also endorsed the jet skis and the boats and the boat club and all, and they put in up in the city a boat ramp so that the ones that's trailering their boats there can back them down and launch them there at that ramp. I'm probably not going to go back and forth doing that with this boat. I might be some times I want to go put it out at a ramp, but I can't say always. I'm going to fix it up here. I know what I'm going to do. I appreciate some of your advice, but I know what I'm going to do. I know the situation here. I live here. I live here. I know this beach. Most of you don't know this beach. I know its conditions. You don't know its conditions. I know the infrastructure up and down through here. You don't know it. And I know what happens with this water out here and how quick it changes. And you don't know it, but I do. And so I know how I'm going to handle it, and I will share it to you guys and show it when that time comes. I'm actually already well underway of making that happen. But there might be times that I want to trailer it. There sure might be. Down at the next town from us at Gimbal, they put in a big new port area and wharf there, and Cap and I, we rode down there recently, a few weeks ago, and in their area there, they put in a brand new boat ramp as well. So that's promising for me, very promising for me. That, you know, there might be a time that I might want to do that. I might want to go down and drop it in the ramp. But here's the next thing. It's a matter of power and weight. You know, my little pickup, if it had to pull this boat up out of the water on a steep ramp that most likely in this country is going to get a lot of algae on it, especially here in the tropics, a lot of algae, a lot of mildew and all, it's going to make it slick. And the positive thing I have going for me is my little truck's a 4x4. The negative thing I have is the truck's not real heavy, and so it could start pulling me back, the weight of this tugging on that ramp and on that slick stuff. So I have to put that in mind of messing around on one of those ramps, and we don't have the big pickups like you do in the US and some other places. So I have to be very aware of that. Now, I could always do things like change my front bumper, put a winch on, see if they got a spot that you can winch onto there, and use the winch to assist me up while I'm pulling it out. Then remove the cable and pull the boat and the truck all the rest of the way on up out of there. There's options like that I can look at, but it's going to be more money I got to spend to just take a boat in and out of the water. Most likely where I want to use this boat is going to be right here in Guimaras, Iloilo Strait, skirting around the edges of this island, going up around to Conception, maybe going around down to Nogas, Antique, up around, probably skirting this island, skirting around Guimaras Island. Those are a lot of beautiful places to go and enjoy that can stay safe and not too far away from home here with if something went wrong. Well, I'm gonna close this video out, and this is my little introduction to the boat video. we'll do another boat video of the tour through the boat. You can all see the condition of it. I'll point out all the goods and bads on it. I'll tell the truth on it. It's but it's not this high dollar shining star gem. It's a jewel in the rough, let's put it that way. And it's got good bones. She's got really good old bones. It's a good solid boat, and that's why I want a Sea Ray, because they can get older, but the quality in them just lasts forever if they even been halfway taken care of. Everybody, thank you for watching, and we'll talk about this boat more on the next video.